Human life is not the result of coincidence, randomness, or blind chance. Every soul that exists was deliberately created by Allah with knowledge, wisdom, and intention. From the moment a person begins to exist, their life carries meaning even if they themselves do not yet understand it. Many people grow up feeling insignificant, comparing their lives to others, believing they are ordinary or forgotten. But the reality is that Allah does not create anything without purpose. The fact that you are alive, breathing, thinking, and searching for meaning is itself evidence that your existence matters. Allah created humanity with awareness, intellect, emotions, and the ability to choose between right and wrong. These gifts separate human beings from the rest of creation. A person is not placed on earth merely to eat, sleep, work, and chase temporary pleasures. If life were only about survival or enjoyment, then human intelligence, conscience, and spiritual longing would have no reason to exist. Saying deep inside every person is a natural desire to understand why they are here. That question is not a weakness, it is a sign of the soul recognizing its creator. Many individuals go through periods where they feel lost or question their worth. They may believe their life has no direction because they have not yet achieved success, recognition, or stability. However, purpose is not measured by worldly milestones. Allah's wisdom operates beyond human timelines. Some people discover their path early, while others find clarity after hardship, failure, or years of searching. Delay does not mean rejection. Sometimes Allah prepares a person through experiences that shape their character before revealing the role they are meant to fulfill. Every human being is created differently because each person carries a unique responsibility. Differences in personality, talent, struggles, and circumstances are intentional. One person may influence others through knowledge, another through kindness, another through patience during hardship. Even small acts of goodness have value in the sight of Allah. A comforting word, sincere advice, or quiet act of charity may fulfill a purpose far greater than public achievements. Purpose is not always loud or visible. Often it exists in moments only Allah fully sees. The challenges people face are also connected to their purpose. Difficulties are not signs that life lacks meaning. Instead, they often guide individuals toward growth and self-discovery. Hardships refine patience, build empathy, and strengthen reliance upon Allah. Many people only recognize their strength after facing trials they never imagined they could survive. Through struggle, a person learns resilience, gratitude, and humility, qualities essential for fulfilling the role Allah has chosen for them. Society often pressures individuals to define themselves through status, wealth, or popularity, creating the illusion that those who struggle are somehow less successful. Yet, Allah judges differently. True value lies in sincerity, intention, and effort. A person unknown to the world may be honored greatly by Allah because of their faith, honesty, and perseverance. Understanding this changes how a believer views life. Instead of chasing validation from people, they begin to focus on living in alignment with divine purpose. Realizing that you were created intentionally brings comfort during uncertainty. It means your life is not meaningless even when plans fail or doors close. What appears as confusion may actually be divine guidance redirecting you towards something better suited for your soul. Allah's knowledge encompasses past, present, and future, while human understanding remains limited. Trust grows when a person accepts that every stage of life, whether easy or difficult, forms part of a larger design filled with wisdom. When someone truly believes they were not created by accident, their perspective shifts. They begin to see opportunities for goodness everywhere, recognizing that each day is a chance to fulfill their purpose through faith, character, and action. Life stops feeling empty because every moment becomes meaningful, every interaction carries potential reward, and every breath becomes part of a journey intentionally written by Allah. The true purpose of human life is worship, but worship in Islam carries a meaning far deeper than many people assume. It is not limited to rituals performed at specific times of the day. Rather, it is a complete way of living that connects every action, intention, and decision to Allah. Worship begins in the heart before it appears in actions. When a person understands that they were created to worship Allah, life gains clarity because every moment becomes an opportunity to draw closer to the Creator. Many people mistakenly think worship only refers to prayer, fasting, or reciting the Quran. While these acts are central pillars of faith, worship also includes how a person treats others, that is, earns their livelihood, speaks, forgives, and responds to challenges. A smile given sincerely, honesty in business, patience with family members, and helping someone in need can all become acts of worship when done with the intention of pleasing Allah. Islam transforms ordinary daily activities into meaningful spiritual acts when they are connected to sincere intention. The concept of worship provides balance between the spiritual and the worldly aspects of life. Islam does not demand isolation from society or abandonment of responsibilities. Instead, it teaches believers to live fully within the world while remaining spiritually connected to Allah. Working to provide for one's family, studying to gain knowledge, maintaining good health, and building strong relationships all become forms of worship when guided by faith and ethical conduct. This understanding removes the false separation between religious life and daily life. Worship also nurtures discipline and self-awareness. The 5 daily prayers structure a believer's day, reminding them regularly of their purpose and preventing life from becoming consumed by distractions. In a world filled with constant noise, pressure, and competition, prayer serves as a pause that reconnects the heart with its creator. Each prayer brings humility, reminding a person that despite achievements or struggles, they remain dependent on Allah's mercy and guidance. Sincerity plays a central role in worship. Actions performed for recognition, praise, or social approval lose their spiritual value. True worship requires intention directed solely toward Allah. Even small deeds gain immense significance when done quietly for His sake. This sincerity purifies the heart from arrogance and selfishness, encouraging believers to focus on inner character rather than outward appearance. Worship becomes less about being seen as righteous and more about genuinely seeking closeness to Allah. Through worship, a person develops moral strength. Remembrance of Allah helps individuals resist harmful behaviors and make ethical choices even when no one else is watching. Worship trains the soul to prioritize long-term spiritual success over temporary worldly gains. It teaches patience during hardship, gratitude during ease, and accountability for every action. Knowing that Allah sees all actions encourages honesty and compassion in both public and private life. Worship also provides emotional peace. Many people search endlessly for happiness through wealth, entertainment, or status, yet continue to feel empty. The heart naturally longs for connection with its Creator, and worship fulfills that spiritual need. When a person turns to Allah in prayer, supplication, and remembrance, they experience comfort that cannot be replaced by material success. Worship becomes a source of stability during uncertainty and a refuge during times of fear or sadness. Another important aspect of worship is gratitude. Recognizing blessings as gifts. Tears from Allah transforms how a believer views life. Simple things such as health, family, time, and opportunities are no longer taken for granted. Gratitude expressed through worship strengthens faith and increases awareness of Allah's mercy. A grateful heart remains hopeful even during difficulty because it trusts that every situation carries wisdom and benefit. Worship ultimately shapes identity and purpose. Instead of being defined solely by career, achievements, or social status, a believer defines themselves through their relationship with Allah. Every action becomes meaningful when aligned with divine guidance, and life gains direction rooted in faith, rather than fleeting trends or expectations. Worship teaches that success lies not in how much a person possesses, but in how sincerely they live in obedience to their Creator, turning every moment into an opportunity for spiritual growth and closeness to Allah. Human beings often live as though this world is permanent, they all their energy into temporary achievements, possessions, and recognition. Yet the reality taught in Islam is that life on earth is a test, not the final destination. Every experience a person encounters is part of an examination designed by Allah to reveal faith, character, patience, and sincerity. Understanding this transforms how a believer views both success and hardship, allowing them to navigate life with balance and wisdom. A test is meaningful only when outcomes are uncertain and choices matter. Allah granted human beings free will, enabling them to choose between obedience and disobedience, kindness and cruelty, gratitude and arrogance. These choices shape a person's spiritual journey. Wealth, health, relationships, and opportunities are not merely blessings to enjoy, they are responsibilities that reveal how a person responds when entrusted with favor. Similarly, loss, illness, and disappointment test patience and reliance upon Allah. Both comfort and difficulty serve as examples. Nations, though many people recognize only hardship as a test, when life is understood as a temporary examination, worldly problems begin to appear in a different light. Challenges that once seemed unbearable become opportunities to earn reward and spiritual elevation. A believer facing hardship learns to ask not only why is this happening, but also what is Allah teaching me through this. This shift in perspective replaces despair with purpose. Trials refine character, strengthen faith, and remind individuals of their dependence on Allah rather than their own limited control. The temporary nature of life also prevents excessive attachment to worldly success. People often measure achievement through wealth, status, or popularity, believing these are signs of ultimate success. However, Islam teaches that worldly gains do not necessarily indicate Allah's pleasure, just as hardships do not indicate His displeasure. Some individuals receive abundance as a test of gratitude and humility, while others face difficulty as a test of patience and perseverance. The true measure lies in how a person responds, not in what they possess. Recognizing life as a test encourages accountability. Every action, word, and intention carries significance because it contributes to the final outcome in the hereafter. This awareness motivates believers to act with integrity even when no one else is watching. Honest behavior, forgiveness, charity, and compassion become conscious choices made for Allah's sake rather than social approval. Knowing that life is temporary reminds a person that actions echo beyond this world. Patience becomes one of the most important qualities developed through life's tests. Patience does not mean passive suffering or silence in the face of injustice. Rather, it means maintaining faith, self-control, and trust in Allah while striving for improvement. A patient person continues to do good despite difficulties, refuses to lose hope, and believes that everything carries hidden wisdom. Through patience, believers grow spiritually stronger and emotionally resilient. Tests also expose what truly matters. During ease, people may forget their purpose and become distracted by comfort. Hardship often awakens reflection, drawing individuals closer to Allah. Moments of vulnerability remind people of their mortality and encourage repentance, gratitude, and renewed commitment to faith. In this way, tests serve as reminders that life is a journey preparing the soul for an eternal destination. Understanding that this world is not the final home brings relief from constant comparison and competition. People no longer feel defeated by temporary losses or overly proud of temporary victories. Instead, they focus on long-term spiritual success. A believer realizes that every moment offers a chance to improve their standing with Allah, regardless of past mistakes. Even failure can become meaningful when it leads to growth and sincere repentance. The awareness of life as a test fosters hope. Difficult phases do not last forever, and rewards promised by Allah extend beyond worldly limitations. Justice that may seem absent in this life will be perfectly fulfilled in the hereafter. This belief gives strength to endure hardship without bitterness and to celebrate blessings without arrogance. Every experience becomes part of a carefully designed journey guiding the soul toward its ultimate meeting with Allah, where the results of this temporary examination will finally be revealed. Human beings naturally try to avoid pain and seek comfort, yet life repeatedly presents moments of hardship, disappointment, and uncertainty. Many people question why suffering exists if Allah is most merciful. The reality is that every struggle carries divine wisdom, even when that wisdom is not immediately visible. What appears as hardship on the surface often contains lessons, protection, and spiritual growth that could not be achieved through ease alone. Understanding this changes how believers interpret difficult moments in their lives. Struggles are not signs of abandonment. When challenges arise, people sometimes feel forgotten or punished, assuming that hardship means Allah is displeased with them. However, Islamic teachings remind believers that trials are often signs of Allah's attention rather than neglect. Difficulties can serve as a means of purification, removing sins, softening the heart, and redirecting a person toward a stronger relationship with Allah. Just as physical exercise strengthens the body through resistance, spiritual strength develops through tests that require patience and faith. Many blessings are hidden within struggles that initially seem painful. A closed door may prevent a greater harm. A delay may prepare a person for something better. and a loss may protect them from a future danger they cannot yet see. Human knowledge is limited to the present moment, while Allah's knowledge encompasses past, present, and future. The future. What feels like rejection may actually be divine protection. Over time, many people look back at painful experiences and recognize that those moments shaped their character, guided their decisions, and ultimately led them toward growth they never anticipated. Struggles also cultivate humility. During times of comfort, individuals may become overly reliant on their own abilities, forgetting their dependence on Allah. Hardship reminds people of their vulnerability and encourages sincere supplication. When a believer turns to Allah during difficulty, their connection with Him deepens. Tears shed in prayer, moments of quiet reflection, and heartfelt supplications often occur during hardship, creating spiritual closeness that comfort alone rarely produces. Another wisdom behind struggle is the development of empathy and compassion. People who experience hardship become more understanding of others' pain. Someone who has known loss comforts others sincerely. Someone who has faced hardship becomes more generous and patient. In this way, personal trials enable individuals to become sources of mercy and support within their communities. Struggle transforms personal pain into collective benefit when it inspires kindness and understanding toward others. Struggles also reveal inner strength that may otherwise remain hidden. Many individuals underestimate their resilience until they are placed in situations requiring courage and perseverance. Challenges push people beyond their comfort zones, encouraging growth, maturity, and emotional resilience. Through hardship, a person learns patience, gratitude, and reliance upon Allah, qualities essential for spiritual development. Faith during struggle does not mean denying sadness or pretending pain does not exist. Islam acknowledges human emotions and allows believers to feel grief, fear, and disappointment. What matters is how one responds to those emotions. A believer continues to trust Allah even while struggling, believing that every difficulty carries purpose. Patience during hardship does not eliminate pain but gives it meaning, transforming suffering into an opportunity for reward and closeness to Allah. Struggles often redirect life's path. Plans may fail, relationships may change, or unexpected events may alter the course of life entirely. While these moments feel unsettling, they may guide a person toward opportunities better aligned with their spiritual growth. Allah's wisdom sometimes removes what a person desires in order to grant what their soul truly needs. Acceptance of divine wisdom allows believers to move forward with hope rather than resentment. Recognizing the wisdom within struggles nurtures gratitude even during difficult times. A believer learns to search for lessons, hidden blessings, and opportunities for growth within hardship. Instead of asking only for struggles to end, they begin to ask for strength, guidance, and understanding. This mindset transforms adversity into a journey of spiritual elevation, where every challenge becomes a step toward greater faith, deeper awareness, and stronger reliance upon Allah. Every human being enters this world with unique abilities, experiences, personalities, and opportunities. No two lives are identical because Allah created each person with a distinct role to fulfill. These differences are not accidents or inequalities without purpose, they are intentional signs of divine wisdom. The talents a person possesses, the challenges they face, and the environment they grow up in all contribute to shaping their mission in life. Understanding this helps individuals stop comparing themselves to others and begin appreciating the value of their own journey. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy because they measure success through comparison. They see others achieving recognition, wealth, or influence and assume their own contributions are small or insignificant. However, Allah does not judge people based on worldly considerations. DLY standards. A person's true value lies in how they use what they have been given. Some individuals are blessed with knowledge, others with compassion, leadership, creativity, patience, or the ability to uplift those around them. Each gift carries responsibility, and fulfilling that responsibility becomes part of one's purpose. Talents are not limited to extraordinary skills or public achievements. Simple qualities such as kindness, listening attentively, offering sincere advice, or supporting family members during difficult times can be powerful forms of contribution. A teacher shaping young minds, a parent raising children with good character, or a worker performing duties honestly all fulfill meaningful roles within society. What may appear ordinary in the eyes of people can hold immense value in the sight of Allah when done with sincerity and good intention. Personal experiences also shape a person's mission. The hardships someone endures often prepare them to help others face. And similar struggles. A person who has overcome loss understands grief deeply, while someone who has faced poverty appreciates generosity and empathy. These experiences are not wasted moments but part of a larger design guiding individuals towards serving others in ways only they can. Through lived experiences, Allah equips each person with insight and understanding that cannot be taught through theory alone. Discovering one's purpose requires reflection and sincerity rather than imitation. Society frequently encourages people to follow popular paths or chase trends that promise success. Yet true fulfillment comes from aligning personal strengths with actions that benefit others and please Allah. When individuals pursue paths consistent with their abilities and values, they experience a sense of meaning that external validation cannot provide. Purpose unfolds gradually as a person continues striving, learning, and seeking guidance from Allah. Using one's talents responsibly also requires humility. Abilities and opportunities are trusts given by Allah, not sources of superiority over others. Pride can corrupt even the most valuable gifts, while humility allows talents to become means of service and gratitude. A believer recognizes that success comes through Allah's permission and therefore uses their strengths to uplift others rather than seek personal glory. Sometimes people underestimate their impact because they do not see immediate results. Acts of kindness, guidance, or encouragement may influence others in ways that remain unseen. A single word of support can change someone's life, and a small good deed may inspire a chain of positivity extending far beyond its original moment. Allah rewards intentions and efforts even when outcomes are unknown to human eyes. Understanding this encourages believers to continue doing good without seeking recognition. Challenges connected to one's talents also serve a purpose. A gifted person may face greater responsibility or higher expectations, while someone placed in difficult circumstances may develop resilience and faith that become their greatest strengths. Both ease and difficulty contribute to shaping individuals into the people they are meant to become. Rather than wishing for another person's life, believers learn to embrace their own path as uniquely designed for them. When a person accepts that their talents and experiences are part of a divine mission, life gains direction and confidence replaces doubt. Instead of asking why they are different from others, they begin to ask how they can use their uniqueness for good. Every skill becomes an opportunity to serve, every experience becomes a lesson, and every effort becomes a step toward fulfilling the purpose Allah has written specifically for their life. Human beings often define success through visible achievements such as wealth, status, influence, or recognition. Society celebrates those who accumulate material possessions or gain public admiration, creating the impression that worldly accomplishment is the ultimate goal of life. However, Islamic teachings redefine success entirely. True success is not measured by how much a person owns or how famous they become, but by the condition of their heart and their relationship with Allah when they return to Him. Life is temporary, and every individual is ultimately moving toward a meeting with their Creator where worldly titles hold no value. A pure heart is central to real success. The heart shapes intentions, actions, and character. A person may perform outwardly good deeds, yet without sincerity those actions lose spiritual weight. Purity of heart involves honesty, humility, compassion, and genuine faith. It means removing arrogance, jealousy, hatred, and resentment while nurturing patience, gratitude, and trust in Allah. This inner transformation requires continuous effort because the heart is influenced by daily choices, environments, and personal struggles. Returning to Allah with a pure heart does not require perfection. Islam recognizes human weakness and the inevitability of mistakes. What matters is sincere repentance and the willingness to grow. A believer may fall into error but repeatedly turns back to Allah seeking forgiveness and improvement. This process of repentance cleanses the heart and strengthens faith. Rather than being defined by past failures, a person is defined by their willingness to return to Allah again and again with humility and hope. Real success also involves maintaining good character in all circumstances. How a person treats others carries immense spiritual significance. Kindness toward family, fairness in business, patience with difficult people, and forgiveness when wronged all contribute to a heart prepared for the hereafter. Acts of compassion reflect faith more powerfully than words alone. The Prophet Muhammad taught that the best among people are those with the best character, emphasizing that spirituality is in see. Parable from ethical behavior. Another aspect of true success is balance between worldly responsibilities and spiritual priorities. Islam does not reject worldly effort, earning a lawful living, seeking education, and contributing positively to society are encouraged. However, these pursuits should never replace remembrance of Allah or distract from the ultimate purpose of life. When worldly ambitions overshadow faith, the heart becomes restless despite material achievement. A believer strives for success in this world while keeping the hereafter as the primary goal. Sincerity transforms ordinary actions into pathways toward eternal success. A simple act done for Allah's sake may outweigh grand achievements performed for recognition. Feeding someone hungry, offering sincere advice, caring for parents, or helping a stranger may appear small but carry immense reward. Allah values intention as much as action, reminding believers that true success lies in consistent goodness rather than dramatic moments of achievement. The awareness of accountability shapes how believers live their lives. Knowing that every action will be reviewed encourages mindfulness and responsibility. Words spoken in anger, opportunities to help others, and moments of private worship all contribute to a person's final record. This awareness does not create fear alone but inspires hope, motivating individuals to fill their lives with acts pleasing to Allah. Worldly life eventually ends for every person regardless of status or power. Wealth remains behind, fame fades, and achievements lose significance. Only faith, righteous deeds, and sincerity accompany a person beyond death. Understanding this reality brings clarity about priorities, encouraging believers to invest in actions that benefit them eternally rather than temporarily. A heart connected to Allah experiences peace even amid uncertainty. Success becomes a spiritual state rather than an external condition. The believer strives to live with faith, repentance, gratitude, and compassion, hoping to meet Allah with a heart free from arrogance and filled with sincerity, carrying the legacy of good deeds performed solely for His pleasure.